I'm going to bring up our host. Where's Jessica? Right here. Jessica's going to be hosting. So
there's a mic, Jessica, if you want to use a mic.
Jessica will be hosting. So what's going to happen is I'm going to introduce her, and then she's going to read, because she's a featured poet, so she's going to read a couple of her poems. Then she'll be hosting the poetry. In between that, where's my international beat poet? Stand up. Big round of applause for Christopher Laureate. I said that wrong, and I'm sorry, I definitely said that wrong. I did that on purpose. But what she's going to be doing is she has a list of poetry from Greece. She came from Greece. She's this year's recipient for the International Beat Poet Laureate. It's the first thing. It's the first time we've done that, and it's the first time the world has an International Poet Laureate of any given period. So we innovated that, and she's going to be getting up, reading a list of poets that have contributed from other events in Greece. So you can hear those voices. But now they're gonna be in Greek. We don't have time for her to do this, translations, and then her own poetry. So you're gonna be in between. You're gonna have to experience this for the music of what it is in its native language. And you know what, a translation isn't healthy in any way. So that's how this is gonna roll. And with that, we're gonna start with some music. Gail Gardner, old-time friend, long-time story, but we won't. It's a story of her and I. Our friendship goes back a long time. I am on one of her CDs, and her CDs are available here. How much are they?
Oh, they're the full-length ones are $15 each, and then there's a $10 one and a $5 one, and they're online on CD Baby, and you can get their iTunes one with Colin on the 2 readings of his on the Welcome Home CD. So yeah.
So the story, and quickly, it's an interesting story. Gail asked for some lyrics, and I wrote the lyrics, and then I was like, oh my God, these are horrible lyrics. And she would not change them and wouldn't give them back to me. And I was just like horrified, and I went there and I read it, I was like, oh my God, and when I heard it on the CD, it was beautiful. Her music made that beautiful, and I was so horrified. Buy her CDs, and we're just gonna start. Again, I want to remind you quickly, this is something that I've been doing now and I like it. Get up. You're not stuck to these chairs. I want the artists and the musicians to know if somebody gets up, you're not interrupting the show. You understand? We do have this here, our karma jar. This is a free event, but if you see it and you want to do something nice to it, you know what to do. Get up and enjoy the food. Use the bathroom, which is right around here. So if you just, shoo yourself in there quietly, and we're going to start this show, and then I'll bring Jessica up. The music of my dear beloved friend, Gail Gardner. Big round of applause. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I forget, and then we'll get another round of applause for him. There is an open mic list in the back. We're going to do the open mic today. And the gallery and John Noelke, the owner right here, this lovely gentleman. That's the reason we're here. It's the reason, and he let us be here Friday too. And he's being very generous and kind. The only thing you want is some email contact, so if that doesn't bother you, the gallery would greatly appreciate that. So now, no more of me. And again, Gail Gardner.
And before I start this is a National Beat Poetry Festival. I have these percussion instruments to help keep on the beat. So if anybody wants to participate, I've got this thing here. And of course the tambourine. So I'm putting these over here. You want to like that? Okay. So anybody else that would like that? Yes. Oh good. We got Greece. This is really international. Okay. So I'm going to start out with a cover song because I do want to give a moment, a song for Houston and any of those who've been so difficultly and tragically impacted by Hurricane Harvey. So this is a song by Stan Rogers, and It definitely has a beat. She went down last October, pouring driving rain. Skipper had been drinking, made it down no pain. Close to 3 Mile Rock, she was down to her mortal blow, and Mary Ellen Carter's on below. There were 5 of us aboard her, and she finally was awash. Worked like hell to save her, for all heedless of the cost. And the groan she gave, she went down and caused us to proclaim that Mary Ellen Carter would rise again. And the owners wrote her off, not a nickel would they spare. She gave 20 years of service for his loud met her sorry end. But insurance never lost to them, they let her rest below. Then they laughed at us and said we had to go. But we talked to them all winter, some days around the clock. She's worth $250 million, afloat in the dock. And with every jar that hit the bar, we swore we would remain and make that Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Oh, rise again, rise again. That her name not be lost to the knowledge of man. And those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make that Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Now we've been with her on a barge lent by a friend, 3 dabs a day and hard-on suits up twice on the land. Thank God it's only 60 feet and the currents here are slow, or I never have the strength to go below. But we caught her and stopped her and stopped, hacked and portal down, put cables to her fore and aft and birded her around. Until noon we hit the air and then take up the strain and watch that Mary Ellen Carter rise again. For we couldn't leave her there, you see, to crumble into scale. She saved our lives so many times, living through the gale. And the laughing drunken rats who left her to a sorry grave, well, they won't be laughing in another day. And you to whom adversity has dealt the final blow, with smiling jerks landing you everywhere you go. Turn to and put out all your strength of hard-hearted faith and brain, and like that Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Oh, rise again, rise again. But you lost the inner home or a band. No matter what you lost, a home, a love, a friend, like that Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Oh, rise again, rise again. Though your heart may be broken and life's about to end, no matter what you lost, get home, a love, a friend, like that Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Oh, like that Mary Ellen Carter rise again. For our friends in Houston and any place that's been struggling with tragedy. So the next one, we're in a beautiful, wonderful, magical art gallery, and so I had to do something that speaks about art. And so the next couple songs will be about that. This first one is from the Isle of Lewis in Scotland. Farabata, Napoela, Farabata, Nahoela, Farabata, Nahoela, oh, that well, where'er ye be,
dost thou remember the promise made me, the dark and clinging, the silken gown, the ring of gold with thy heaven's portrait, a ring of gold I shall never hold. Parabata, no way, Parabata, no way, Parabata, no way. Oh, very well, where ye be, I'm often haunting the highest hilltops. I scan the ocean, I sail the sea. We'll come tonight, love, we'll come tomorrow, we'll come tomorrow, where'er ye be. Parabata, no way, Parabata, no way, Parabata, no way. Oh, very well, where'er ye be. There's not a hamlet, just too well I know it, where thou goes walking, or sits so while, and all the old folks, the maids that talking, just charm the maidens with song and smile. Parabata, no way, Parabata, no way, Parabata, no way. Oh, very well, where'er ye be. Oh, very well, where'er ye be. It's called the boat song. Some of you may know this, and it's traditional, and I just thought it's a very fun, upbeat song, again, water related. And if anybody knows who wrote the words to this, I would love to know. It's called the Crawdad Song. You get a line, I'll get pulled, honey. You get a line and I'll go pull, baby. You get a line and I'll get pulled. We'll go fishing in the golden bowl, honey, baby, mine. Get up, old man, it's up too late, honey. Get up, old man, it's up too late, baby. Get up, old man, it's up too late. Last year's crawdads on your plate, honey, baby, mine. Get up, old woman, you slept too late, honey. Get up, old woman, you slept too late, baby. Get up, old woman, you slept too late. Crawdad men that's gone the gate, honey, baby, Long came a man with a sack on his back, honey. Along came a man with a sack on his back, baby. Long came a man with a sack on his back, packing on the crawdads he can pack, honey, baby, Well, what you gonna do when the lake runs dry, honey? What you gonna do when the lake runs dry, baby? What you gonna do when the lake runs dry? Sit on the bank, watch crawdads die, honey, baby, I heard the drunk say to the drink, honey. I heard that duck say to the drink, baby. I heard that dog say to the drink, there ain't no crawdads in his leg, honey, baby, You get a line and I'll get a pull, honey. You get a hoe and I get a pine, honey. You get a line and I'll get a pull, and we'll go fishing in the crawdad hole, honey, baby, back there, Colin, our favorite fisherman. So, let's see, one more? What do you think? Or a couple more, whatever you like. All right. So I'm going to switch instruments. And, I got to go to this lovely dinner last night with some of the poets, and I thank Colin and Debbie for all they did to put this all together, this amazing weekend. And I did learn that some of the people at my table, anyway, were cat people. And they're also actually dog people around. So this is a true, it's a original song about King Philip, a historically true figure. And my two cats, Puss and Boots, so it's important to know that there are two cats. Maybe some. It's historical fiction, or hysterical fiction, whatever you prefer. In Connecticut land, there was a man. He wasn't just an ordinary man. He was King Philip. Oh, that King Philip, he was a tramp. Well, King Philip had another name, had his subjects running in shame. He was known as that dirty old dog. Even had Vesuvius beat with his dirty old smoke. Well, that dirty old dog had the dirtiest mouth. He even had the ducks in summer flying south. Even his mother had given up hope. She wanted to wash his dirty mouth all with soap. Well, she gave it up hope until she learned to lie. Puss and Boots were dirty old dogs that didn't learn. Dirty old dogs were never a match. Dirty old dogs were the favorite catch. Well, that dirty old dog wasn't a match. Out of his mouth, dirty words they did snatch. Then they gave him a double cat tongue cleaning. Maybe that king could wish he'd really been just bad dreaming. Well, King Philip's mom to Puss and Boots gave thanks for. Next on her list, of course, were Spanks. He never left that dirty old dog behind. And oh, how our subjects definitely did not mind. So the ballad goes, Puss and Boots on how they clean the dirty old dog out by its roots. King Philip definitely didn't want no double cat tongue cleaning. Oh, I wish he'd really been just bad dreaming. We know what it went down. Puss and Boots kicked that dirty old dog's you know what out of town. Ooh, a lot of dirty words got kicked out of town. Thank you. My cat's presidents, thank you. They were an inspiration. All right. And this, you'd let me know if you want more songs than this one. I was going to use this one. Okay, so I'm going to transition this into the poet, so I'm going to end with just music. I'll start with some words in this, and we'll end with an instrumental part of it. And it has to do with it getting darker now. We're not going to grieve the dying light. That's what it's called. flowers bloom where the snows once lay, and again that glorious light will shine as darkness falls with the rising sun.
Buy her CD, and what I'll do is, it's going to take a little bit to break this down, but we're going to just keep the show going anyway. And James Paul Wagner has arrived back there. It's our poet laureate from Long Island, our beat poet laureate. We want to be very clear about this. He's back there. No, anyway, they're still looking for. If you look back there, the gentleman in black is James Paul Wagner. Did a great job with this book. He compiled this anthology of beat poet laureates. And to be clear, if I say poet laureate, everyone specifically is a beat poet laureate. Not to be confused with your, geez, can I say this? With your local boring poetry society.
Jesus.
Amen, brother.
Thank you. Tommy, man, I love you, right? Not to be confused with your local poetry society's poet laureates. They've had say with that long enough. And that's why we have beat poet laureates. And this is spread around the world. So this book is here. It's a compilation of our beat poet laureates. And they're assembled here with you back here. And they've been reading all day long. I'm not going to talk too much today. But I'm going to call up Krissa. And she's going to read, again, the poems in Greek. You won't hear English. She's our international beat poet laureate from Greece. And then I'll introduce our host poet.
I'm going to read you a great poetess from Greece. She is a big poet. She was in love with the biggest Greek big poet, who was Kolpas. I think she's better than him. Her name is Ismini Lyosi, and she is my dear friend. You do something. Χρόνια περίμενε την αγάπη στο μπαλκόνι της. Το μπούστο έξω βρεχόταν από τις νεροποντές. Φαίνονταν οι ρόγες να μάσκανε. Τα μαλλιά γέμιζαν χιόνια και κουτσουλιές περαστικών πουλιών. Το φεγγάρι της έτρωγε αργά τα κίτρινα μάτια της και γινότανε όλο και περισσότερο χρυσαφένιο. Το πρόσωπο έγινε ένα με την πέτρα της πρόσωψης. Από το στόμα της έβγαινε ένα μπλε κρινάκι και στο αριστερό μάτι της έκτισε τη φωλιά της μια οικογένεια χιλιδονιών. Χρόνια έγινε η γυναίκα παράξενο σπίτι πια, ακατοίκητο. Άντρες στο εσωτερικό πηγαίναν και έρχονταν. Της σήκωναν το ροζ χιλιονερωμένο της φόρεμα, έμπαιναν μέσα της και εξπερματώνανε, εκείνη εκεί, ακίνητη. Στο παράθυρο περίμενε νυχθημερών, όλες τις εποχές, όλες τις ώρες. Όταν η αγάπη έφτασε απρόβλεπτα, η γυναίκα είχε πεθάνει. Παρόλο που άντρες πίσω στο δωμάτιο, αν και νεκροί, τη γαμούσαν. One more. It is from a young poet that she's writing her first book, and she's a friend of mine and of your poet laureate, George Wallace. And she's not only a poet, she's a great musician that runs around the world and honors us with her music. Τα χρώματα του λευκού, χλωμά απόνερα, κροταλίζουν στο χώμα. Αποχαιρετούν τον ουρανό τραγουδώντας προς το χάος. Στήσαν πανηγύρι με τα σήμαντρα του Πέλεκη και τα κρίνα της λίμνης. Αφρορροούν στα δόντια της ανάπαυσης. Μαζεύουν τα πικρά κλαδιά της ανησυχίας και κουλουριάζονται με τη πτώση. Αβάσταχτες ακαμψίες από πορφυρένια αγκίστρια να τα τυραννίσουν και οι μηχανές τους θα καούν, στεφανωμένες από τη στεριά. Λευκά γάντια θα τα χαϊδέψουν, θα τα πλανέψουν σε ένα ταξίδι χωρίς προορισμό, σε γλώσσες χρυσές και λόγια ανίποτα με αψιδωτά φαράγγια. Γλυκά θα τα γευτώ σαν το μωρό που δοκιμάζει πρώτη φορά ξανθό πορτοκάλι. Εμπύρετη θα στροβιλιστώ μαζί τους όπως τα κόκκινα καβούρια στην άμμο. Θα συρθώ σαν μελανό μαργαριτάρι σε βάρβαρα όστρακα. Θα εκτιναχθώ σαν τα ριζόχαρτα στα έλλη. Μακριά, πολύ μακριά, εκεί που έχει τη φωλιά της η κραυγή και το νερό. Θα γίνω τριαντάφυλλο που θα το φέρει ο ταχυδρόμος της σελήνης. Θα γίνω ένα λευκό τριαντάφυλλο. Thank you.
Please don't break Gail's microphone.
No.
Be very careful. If you work with it, it'll work. Thank you for letting us use that. So, she's trying to share her voices from Greece. That's not all her poetry. I think I explained that, but that's what's going on, and it's going to be shown to them there, and they wanted very much to be part of this. So that's what you're going to hear, Jessica. So you'll let her go in between poets. I'll compile a list of poets for you. So I'm going to introduce your host, but she's also one of the features. And Jessica Carey, you'll like this story. Jessica was terrified to read when she first started coming to our events. And over the course of several years and getting over that, highly accomplished and confident reader, and she's lovely, and I'm sure she'll have her own story. But let's welcome up a Connecticut poet and my dear friend, Jessica Brooke.
Hello, and thank you all for coming. I am going to share a request from Colin first. Comes to my first book, which is, thank the Lord, out of print because I got my rights back from a Hartford publisher. But it's called Beat Me Into a Boy, and you'll see my growth throughout my poetry and how I over the years have become better, I don't know, not better, but more at peace with my past, and this is my story, part of my story. Beat me into a boy. Beat me into a boy. Take me target shooting. I went hunting with you. I adopted your hobbies. I sought to please you, longing for father's love, never good enough. As you guzzled the beers, I knew what would ensue. It was only me to be attacked. It was your last chance to carry on your bloodline. Oh, how I ate up every bit of praise I would receive out of a mouth, usually spewing lewd remarks, devastating blows to my ego. Like a boy, I stood up to you and would not accept those disgusting, filthy, degrading words, for I entered your life as a girl, then became a woman less than half your size. Not succeeding in your damage to my spirit must have fueled further fire. For spiting you, I paid with belt-buckle welts, fists in my stomach, kicks down the stairs. But you couldn't change what you wished. I was still me, only a girl, wishing to be loved for who I was, not the boy you wanted me to be. Okay, and I had a kind of, I would say, an awakening. I don't want to say like too, basically about myself and how I view my life now after meeting a woman I consider almost been my mentor for. I actually have a facilitated group for the Connecticut Hearing Voices Network, and we all have lived experiences, and we share this with each other in like a comfortable environment where we can feel free to relate with each other and, you know, not feel like anyone's gonna, you know, say anything about it and highly confidential. Say this too much, but like she inspired me to write a lot of things that I'm going to share with you today. I didn't take too many. Okay, here it is. This is called Me at the Helm. The power within is a journey beginning with accepting myself, not expecting myself. A path of contemplation, silent realization that my thoughts and feelings are valid and it's enough. Enough to satisfy my own true self. Enough to gratify no one but myself. For my life and my world demands my full attention. Taking care of myself means putting myself at the helm. At the helm of my own vessel, instead of letting controlling, negative thoughts betray me in my truth. Navigating through on my own, I'm beginning to own. I care about where I belong. I've often wondered, where do I fit in this world? Why do people not understand my experience is real? Truly, it only matters what I think. What I think, imagine that. Imagine accepting myself exactly as I wish. I feel vindicated, validated, revealed. A sense of peace just overtook me, a peace I have yet to attain every moment. Yet today is all that matters. Today was a gift to myself. I am from here on forward not bending over backwards for those who attempt to mold me into their own clay, instead of me owning the clay, making me a tremendously gorgeous masterpiece that I can give to myself. To lead in my self-journey, for after all, I can at least depend on myself. I refuse to let my surroundings control me until I break. Well, I have the glue. I have the power. I'm a witness to my awakening, for the past controlled me. I own my past, but I am in control now. How amazing that feels to escape the ropes tying me, to defend my own life and taking it back. Just like bear with me, it's the first time I think I've ever read these out loud, and sometimes even to myself after I read them all out. And I must read that from there. Here is just a poem when I was in a horrible, I'm not afraid to share my story, so if you all don't, you know, approve, then who cares? I was like, you know what I mean? Basically, like, I was in a hospital, psychiatric ward, and I was very, very, like, I lost all hope of ever getting out of there, like, within a span of time that I was just a whole year between, and so I wrote this about breaking free out of it. Birdcage. Staircases never ending, no way out to freedom. Desiring to fly, yet my feet cemented in the ground. Frustrated instead, I cry. Trapped as if a bird, outside is a courtyard, yet it is a cage. Freedom is beyond reach, a tease. I get out only to knock to get in. The irony is seething like a poker fiery red, searing into my brain. It's pouring out, yet the fire is never quenched. Burning bright is my spirit, still here, still here. trying hard to drag me down this brick cage within I am trapped. Panicking, I flap my wings, refuse to suffer any longer. Suddenly there's hope. I see daylight through the cracked mortar. I lay my indigo wings flat, my inner light bursts forth. Bricks crumble to dust in my wake, in the shadow of my strength. And Colin, I only have a couple, I was only going to share a couple more, so I hope I'm not out of time. What's time? Okay. I'm trying to see if there's anyone else. All right, my friend inspired me with this one. He said, just happened to say, oh, you know, maybe we're in the rain. I thought, well, he said, well, we can be between the raindrops. I was like, wow, that's cool. So I read about that. So between the raindrops, I held you close between the raindrops, enraptured in the moment, instants before the storm. The wind began to whip around us. Yet I held fast to you, as if your heart was a part of mine, so that if we separated, neither would go on beating. Lost in our embrace between the raindrops, I forgot about my troubles. Rivulets began to flow around our feet. As the rain began to pelt, we each upturned our face to the open sky. Just it. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to take up too much time on either one of these, but this is the one that's being published in the UK where the Hearing Voices group started. And I just would like to quickly share it. Is that okay, Colin, if I share this or not? All right, this is it. Ready? Stop the madness. When will the dirty stigma be wiped from the chalkboard of every 1 in 5 Americans who fight valiantly with a deemed disease no one can see yet feeds? Mental illness spreads far and wide, sneaks up and takes away dreams, while society made me search lower and lower due to discouragement that I could never live up normal life. The feeling I just couldn't handle a stressful job and hold on to it. An extremely difficult college course load, so I just set my sights lower and lower, from doctor to nurse to nothing. For 6 years, discouraged by a simple letter that even with 2 years left, I was just not good enough, I wouldn't pass the exam to be a nurse. Just because my lower division grades weren't projecting a good outcome. This letter stopped me from returning to school, began the 6-year hiatus, while each year I gave up hope of holding a college degree in English in my hands. First calling my mom, once it came in the mail, crying as I read what it said to her. Now I'm crying suddenly, for my hopes and dreams teeter-tottered. I let my illness dictate who I was, what I could become. Who would want to date a crazy person? Who could ever love someone so messed up? It hurts so deeply to realize that no matter how much I try, I keep falling by the wayside, forgotten by so many friends who just couldn't stick it out with me. All the men who left in my instability, as I pushed them away and ended those dreams, ended the dream of a happy family. Does that exist? Those 2 kids, the marriage, career, love, or just an illusion to torment me that I've hardly any of these. I must remember to thank God for what I do have, yet every day the pressure to stay strong through all struggles. Yet I break sometimes. I'm not perfect. I'm labeled since then. I feel so defeated. I feel so lost. Please bring me back to a teen where my life was beckoning me, until the stress made me break, until I gave up hope again and again, until the white doors locked. I could just not get out. I pray for all that suffer too. I pray for them to realize, no matter what the voices say or society says, that they are human beings too, deserving of love and respect instead of judgment and fear. When will people stop feeling sorry for me so I can just be me? Thank you.
He's a great writer and a poet. Εσύ, τώρα που σ' άγγιξε η έμπειρη έδιναν. Τώρα που η θέρμη της λύγησε τη σιωπή σου, πες στον Θεό πως είσαι κομμάτια από τη δική μου ζωή. Με τη δική σου φωνή φώναξέ του, πως ψήγματα από την ψυχή σου, τη δική σου ψυχή, μου χάρισες. A friend from my town, Larissa, she once, since she was a child, many prizes in poetry. Here's one of her poems. Her name, Χρύσα Μαστοροδίνου. Like Χρύσα. Δημόσια αναμονή. Περάσαμε το 1 τρίτο της ζωής μας σε αίθουσες δημόσιας αναμονής, κοιτάζοντας τα παπούτσια του μπροστινού μας, κλωτσώντας το μέλλον μας σε θηρίδες χωρίς φως. Το άλλο τρίτο σε λάθος ανθρώπους το ξοδέψαμε. Σε συναισθήματα χωρίς αξία και σε φιλίες χωρίς αντίκρισμα κανένα. Σε λάθος κόσμο επενδύσαμε, στη χώρα που κατάπιε τα όνειρά μας, πιστεύοντας κύβυλους υποκριτές. Γι' αυτό δεν θέλω να αναρωτιέμαι πόσος κλασματικός χρόνος μου απέμεινε. Τόσος λίγος χρόνος για τόσα πολλά λάθη.
Okay, next we have our next feature poet is Patricia Martin, the host of the Speakeasy at the Hub.
Hi, thank you. Great to be here. Thank you to the International Beat Poetry Festival people, that we call it. Thank you to the great Noelke Gallery and John for having this great space here. And happy to share some words with these other great voices that you're in store for. My first poem I'm going to read is one that I actually read here when I first moved to Torrington not that long ago. And I came from a gallery opening next door, and then I came here because John had something going on. And he had this stand, speak with passion, speak your passion. And he invited me to do it. And I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? So I happened to be able to remember the words to one of the poems that I wrote, which I wrote right after 9/11 to kind of purge myself of the images. So in appreciation for having the opportunity to read that, I guess I'm going to recite it because it's not in here. So here it is. It's called I Lie Still. Pablo Picasso invaded my interior scape. I have been disfigured. Displaced eyes, fragmented breasts, chest torn asunder, heart rest open, ready to burst, feelings fractured, refracted like a shattered mirror. When did Salvador Dali take his brush to my eye sockets, stroking them into salty, dripping rivets, placing the face of the watch into my mouth, elongating the seconds, extending my pain. Jackson Pollock spewed emotions up and down my spine, haphazard attack, the paint still wet, finger-painted anxiety smeared upon my belly. How brittle am I? Oh, how brittle am I? I lie still, tremble, holding my breath, waiting for Michelangelo to rescue me. waiting for Michelangelo to rescue me, caress me, coax me out from the stone before I shatter. I might shatter. I lie still. I lie still. Now, as a treat, since this is a beat thing, and I didn't get that gene, I'm going to share some beat poetry from a wonderful beat woman who is in the Women of the Beat Generation book by Brenda Knight, who I happen to know. And it's Janine Palmy Vega. I would do Allen Ginsberg, but you know, I just can't get there. I don't have that chakra thing going on. So for Janine, I picked two poems. Her stuff's really hard to find in print unless you own her books. But she seemed to always have the shaker thing. And towards the end of her life, for the last several, while, she was living in the Woodstock, New York area with her man, Andy Clausen, who I know from the Woodstock scene. Brilliant. So I wish I had gotten a chance to know her. So I'd like to pay a little honor to her now with these two poems, with my little shaker in her honor. Which side are you on? Where does my anger come from? At the laziness, the prosaic. How many times will you enter a room and leave it vacant? In and out, visiting a temple of possibility and never leave a gift at the altar. Come on down to the river of your own soul. We are excavating here. The yellow helmets you see are so many suns on the horizon, going down and coming up in no particular time sequence or order. When one flower opens, Kabir says, ordinarily dozens open. I'm digressing. Every time you visit yourself without respect, you lose. Without love, also. Read the coins you've thrown down in the dirt. They spell integrity. You recall those early moments in your young life when you sang and we were witnesses. If not then, now. We can see you outside the ordinary. Grab onto a miracle and understand it was not more you than the wind. Oh, so that's it, finally. No more you or me, that mountain there, and no mountain either. Which side are you on? And then here's one that I just think is just lovely and exquisite, vision-oriented. The Poppy of George O'Keeffe. In the carmine extravagance, the skirts of a Spanish dancer swirl, flamenco rhythms, castanets, exuberant dancer drumming her heels on a wooden floor, staccato barks, deep intricate guitars, the energy pulsing from the dark surrounds and enters. The poppy is wide open, her petals curve like the skirts of a mountain filled with the morning sun. We climb and reaching the pinnacle shout like the flower in strict discipline, in eloquent satori, in the wild grace of black and red. Really pretty, wasn't it? Okay, this is one of my own. It's called Pillow Book. Pillow Book says, when God made the first clay model of a human being, he painted the eyes the lips and the sex. He painted each person's name lest they ever forget it. God approved of his creation, so he breathed the model to life, signing his own name. This day is no longer a pale day. Forever now, the color of pomegranate, passion's deepest, sacred, red, ripe romance reflected in the flame of an archangel's candle, while we inscribe our pillow book with murmurs and sighs and cries, winds howling and knocking outside, as potent as our love. God signing his name next to ours. I have a collaborative poem I'd like to share. I haven't done too many. In fact, I've only done 2. And they're really kind of fun because you never know what's going to come out as you pass the paper back and forth. And this is a really short one, and don't know where it came from. But it was powerful in the moment. It's called Broken. It's a collaboration with a very dear poet and musician friend of mine named Susan Hoover, who's from New York and now Woodstock. Broken. I break the crucifix with labored breath, took the wooden cross off its place on the wall, stroking the bronze figure gently in the wind before rain falls from the clouds, and I clutch it to my breast as I pull my collar up to spit at the wind, coming from jaws open to show broken teeth and hollow throat. Damn you, I curse between clenched teeth. Thank you. I guess that's enough for now. I much appreciate it.
Is a young poetess that wins many prizes every year in Greece. This year she won a prize on the Delphic poetic fights. Χαράζοντάς με. Κύκλοι νοεροί ειχνογραφούν τα βήματά σου. Ανεπαίσθητες φωνές καταφθάνουν ως αρμαγεύμα. Νιώσε με. Στα χαραγμένα νιάτα, κοίτα με. Στα πονεμένα μάτια, άκουσέ με. Στις κραυγές που με περικύκλωσαν, εγώ μόνη. Σαν το λευκό περιστέρι του ουρανού, χάθηκα στο αγγίγμά σου. Διστακτικά χαμόγελα, δειλά την παθούσαν καθώς κυλούσε η ώρα στη σύναξη των παθών. Στη σύναξη των τρελών. Μόλις άρχισαν να φυγοδικούν τα όνειρά μου, καθώς έπεφταν τα αστέρια στις χούφτες σου, άκουγα τους χτύπους της καρδιάς σου. Ψιθυριστά, βυθισμένα χρώματα αναδύοντας τις όχθες σου, μαγεμένη πλάνη πλημμύρισε τα σωθικά μου, σε αυτό το ξέφωτο της λησμονιάς. Μην απολέκω. That's all. She is not exactly a Greek poet, but she writes in Greek. She is Albanian. Ναι, κυρία μου. Έτσι που λέτε. Δεν είμαι εδώ για να σας πλύνω το νου. Εγώ το πολύ πολύ να σας κάνω ένα φρεσκάρισμα στα όνειρά σας. Για να έχετε μια μικρή αντιβίωση μέχρι την επόμενη απελπισία σας. Α, και μεταξύ μας, κυρία μου, δεν υπάρχουν πλύσεις κατά μικροβίων του νου, μόνο πλύση εγκεφάλου υπάρχει. Α, μα μην ανησυχείτε. Κάντε λίγο υπομονή. Κι και ο νους σας κάποια στιγμή θα πάψει να είναι χρήσιμος. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you again, Crystal, for sharing those lovely poems with us, and the way you read them is just masterful. I could not even begin to think what I could do.
You said my name in all its versions. You said, you and Colin said my name in all its versions. All its versions. No, I don't complain, I just make a joke.
How you pronounce it? Sorry. Go ahead. I don't know.
Χρύσα.
Oh, Krisa.
Yes.
Krisa.
Χρύσα.
Krisa. Okay, thank you.
Belisario.
Krisa. Belisario. Close the way, guys. Close. I wasn't laughing at me, I don't care. You know, I wrote nothing like that.
Χρύσα.
No, Krisa.
Χρύσα the Greek.
Krisa the Great Greek. Okay, there we go. And now I'd like to let the stage here to share. Richard, Tommy Twilight from Massachusetts, who is graced with this presence. Thank you.
Pain is to win. Super S, helmet gone, red buckets bleeding. The hammer clenched face, hairy claw smooth, pounding on some blue grass. Flounder in the maze. Silver X, pink flabby, bent over 4, pep talk now, being happy. I ain't taking no shit from what remains. Red ant, pounding her fists on the console, contortion flow, peanut smile, tail wiggle. Symbol blonde bolts, bloody bolts of lightning, welding goggles. Spin the octopus, soften him up. Blue genie, moaning. Thinking pain, and pain is to win. Pain is green lumps of iridescent pain. Big almond Z at the end of all rainbows. Purple whale, barking laughter mad. I'm going to read some new work. That was from my very first chapbook. I don't even know how long ago that was. Her leaf dancing is the wind. To hold her is to love her, the way the sea loves the sky, the way the stars love the night. There is a child within her, an old woman too. Autumn is her name, and this is her season. Say that. I'm lost in my own hole, full of false starts, and every word I write is stupid. To demolition, to yellow painted steel, to the cone of shame. And if I should escape, not likely, and if I should go deeper to the wheel, I will be like the captain of the underground with you looking down. to the end, will you? You're interrupting me. Not this again. This paper is white. The ink is black. That's just the way it is. With skin, it is different. Like chocolate, or coffee with cream, or lightly buttered toast, or milk and honey. It's not the same. Why is that? When red is blood, and all of us are DNA, at least a little bit from Africa, I'm not paper, and you are not ink. But together, we are prayer. O moon, give us your slave, your Holocaust, your genocide, your hate. We offer ourselves. We offer up this torture, this murder, this rape. Wrap us in your bright beam, only to love. This is what we ask, only to love. The great artist of love. You think you're something special. The great artist of love. And everybody wants you every time you load your brush. But when you paint your pictures, it's never quite enough, because you are and will always be the great artist of love. Your words are like poetry from heaven above, and your music so much sweeter than any cardinal or dove. And your legend is no stranger to the wonder of your touch, because nothing can compare to the great artist of love. Ah, yes, you fooled me many times, I must admit, when I look around and see the beauty in everything you did, how you suffered and sacrificed your whole world for art, for you are the great artist of the broken heart. And when you die alone, like all great artists do, after all the pain you caused, after all you put me through, your painting's not worth as much as the dust that you've become. Because once you were the great artist of love, and now you are all done. I'll give you a couple of them. See, I'm skipping through them like that. That's garbage. Yeah, baby, yeah. You write them and you write them and you write them, and it's like, I don't know. This one's about.
You're not going to tell us what it's about?
No. Here.
That was my favorite one.
I know. You'll have to come back again next time. Up Schitt's Creek without an oar. This is for, you know what it's for. God sent me a rowboat in the desert of love, and I wait here with my paper cup for redemption from above. Then Jesus himself comes down in a burning ball of flame. He says, "Do you remember my name?" There was something about the mud that I was made of, something about the flowers on the wall, something about the boys as they die young, something about the rain about to fall. And now we've come the distance. Of this you can be sure. It doesn't matter what we were or what we did before. The good Lord himself told me the deal was almost done. And now I'm waiting for the rain to come. And when the rain starts falling, I think I'm gonna drown. The sky itself dissolves as the world spins around, and the water starts to rise as the desert turns to sea. And what remains of us is just my rowboat and me. For you, baby. Yeah, you see the president on there? Oh, we're having a good time down here. Yeah, this is great. This is good stuff, man. All right, let's see. All right, maybe two more. How's that sound?
Great.
Sounds good? All right. This one's called I Know How This Poem Ends. I know how this poem ends. It ends with a whisper in your ear. It ends when I say it's over. It ends with time, and time is the fourth dimension. So maybe this poem will never end, or maybe it will, who knows. This poem is a horror show. It reaches out to you from the grave, grabs you by the ankles, and pulls you in, much like death, but it will not die. I'm sorry I wrote it. I cannot stop it from burning. It is an eternal flame, a metaphysical marvel, an existential dream. You think you could write a poem like this, but you are mistaken, because this one is mine. I probably should have thought this through. What am I supposed to do now that this poem has become this thing? I guess I could wrap it up in a bow and call it beautiful, or say something profound and deep, like wow wow. Yeah, that's good. Wow wow, baby. Now you're talking. So is that pronounced woo woo or wow oh? I don't know. It's a mystery, and a poem should have some mystery. It should be cryptic and obscure, like what is in a hot dog. You don't want to know. You really don't, do you? No. But it tastes good, right? Especially if it's blackened over an open flame and served on white bread, Zappa style. But only if you're really hungry. Out of the great gray ghost into the night, one comma and one question mark. Now that is cryptic, man. Comma two. I am resisting the word fuck here. I am resisting, but I am weak. Fuck. Art is dead, bitch, and poetry is not sorry. If I had a shotgun, I would blast this poem to hell. But the scraps would likely fall to earth like seeds and grow, like stupid flowers, and they would smell so good. I'm so sorry. I will chop them down and douse them in gasoline. Then we can watch them burn, like gypsies around the caravan at night. The smoke will rise holy as we sing and dance. And in the morning, when I touch the ashes with my fingers, and make my mark upon your cheek, everything will be fine. All right, one last one. Seems I have a little Jesus theme going today. Jesus on the main line. Nailed to the crossbar on the telephone pole, no one hears him cry. He hangs above the street in a quiet neighborhood of Sleepy Town. At 3 a.m., the police car drives by. Headlights flash on his silhouette in the moonlight, but the cops never see him. Morning comes, as it has always been. Sunrise. Jesus' eyes glaze over. People pass by down below. The kids wait for the school bus. People on their way to work. Nobody looks up. They don't notice the blood on the ground. He wears a crown of electric wire, his countenance forlorn. You would think that someone would notice a naked man hanging from a telephone pole, but no one does. I wanted to do as well. Can I do one?
Yeah.
All right, this is more like, more happy. Last, definitely last. My dirty angels. Yes, I have angels. My angels live in the dirt, and the deeper they go, the more beautiful they get. They are the fallen angels. They are not stuck up like their cousins, the heavenly angels. They are dirty angels, earthy, bawdy, raw. They tell jokes and play tricks on each other. But it's all in good fun. They know how to party. They drink nectar and dance all night under toadstools to the violins of crickets and the songs of peepers and tree frogs. Then they sleep all day, waiting for sunset, before they wake up and have their breakfast of pollen and evening dew. They enjoy raucous sex and lounge in hot tubs made from the upside-down caps of acorns. They're just like us, except they don't have a lot of uptight rules, like who could sleep with whom, or whether or not someone can smoke dried flowers. After all, they were banished down to this earth just like we were, and they are stuck here too. But they seem to know how to have a good time and not worry about it. We can't see them, but dogs and cats and little kids can. My angels don't care if you eat meat or burn gasoline. They know that soon enough, we will all be food for the worms or fertilizer for the trees. But maybe someday we will be reborn as robins and fly. My angels are not gluten-free, but they won't hurt you. My angels don't have wings, but they know how to laugh, especially at themselves. And when they cry, as sometimes they do, the lightning bugs gather their tears to add sparkle to the night. We could sure learn a few things from my dirty angels, like how to forgive each other and how to relax a little and love each other and how to live each day as best as we can as we spin through space at 1,000 miles an hour on this weary old earth. Thank you.